All right. I'm going to try my new iPad out here, and we'll see how this works. What I want to talk to you today about is this concept of packing in the neck. Now, why is this important? Why should you care? And, what's the reasoning behind it? Being a person, I don't even know where the camera is on this thing. I can see my face, but it doesn't look like I'm looking at the camera. So, whatever. What I'm going to do is I'm going to lead you through the process of packing in the neck, which is that, and from there I'm going to tell you why it's important and why you should care, why you should work on this neck pack position. So first things first, packing in the neck, I'll explain it first, is really about a lot of people, not all, and I first was introduced to this concept when I met Dr. Charlie Weingroff, who I have an extensive interview about this with on my site. And the concept is a lot, but not all, including myself, are hypermobile in their cervical and lumbar spines, meaning that they have too much mobility, and too much mobility can be a bad thing, right? It could put you in a position of compromise. Now, specifically for your lumbar region, when you're performing big lifts, deadlifts, squats, etc., hypermobile or overarched back, a state of hyperlordosis, puts the bones in your back, the discs in your back, closer together. Now, it's not bone on bone, but they're closer together. Now, what this means is that it sends a signal to your brain saying, hey, brain, we got support from this bony architecture in our back. We don't need as much support from our inner core, our deep inner core stabilizers, such as your transverse abdominis, your multifidus, your longissimus, your pelvic floor, your diaphragm, etc., right? These muscles that support positions of authentic integrity. So people make the argument that it's a trade-off, right? You're trading off structural support for authentic support. Now, as an athlete, I feel that it's imperative that we have a strong amount of authentic support, authentic stabilization from our core, and we have these strong inner core stabilizers. Now, the reason packing in the neck is important is because people who are hypermobile in their C-spine and L-spine, there's a correlation between what happens in your cervical spine trickles down to your lumbar spine. So if I'm hyperextended, right, in this position of cervical extension, it's going to trickle down. I'm going to be hyperextended in a state of hyperlordosis, especially in my lumbar spine, and it's going to put me into that position of compromise of structural support. Now, if you're not hypermobile and you've been lifting with cervical extension and you don't have that much mobility in the lumbar, then you probably don't need to worry about this, right? But if you are, then this is a technique you should probably take into consideration, right? Now, it's very simple. The cues we use for packing in the neck, first off, people get it confused, as Dr. Weingroff has said, it's not a cervical movement, it's a capital movement. So what I'm looking for is to push my chin back and down, right? You look ridiculous, you do. It looks like you're giving yourself a double chin. But this is going to set the spine in neutral, pushing the chin back and down, and it almost looks like I have a mild amount of capital flexion. So you can think of it cervical retraction and retrusion, pushing the head back, and then a slight capital tilt, right, just to put everything in line. If you look at my deadlifting video, you'll see, if you draw a straight line from my tailbone right up to the crown of my head, it's perfectly straight. It's a perfectly straight line. Now, the argument has been made that, well, does that take the slack out of your spine? Is it clear? No, it's not a flat spine, right? What appears visibly flat is often covered up by girth, musculature, and people's skewed vision as towards what proper posture is or what proper posture should be. Believe me, what is visibly flat is a very curved spine. Dr. Weingroff has also made this very noted. So, packing the neck, big movements, authentic stability, right? Keeping yourself safe, keeping yourself strong, all right? So if you have any questions about this whole neck packing extravaganza, right? This crusade of neck packing, just post them, and I'd be happy to answer the best of the best questions to the best of my ability. All right? Adios.